Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi everybody, welcome to Bayou Time Sports. Stan Gravois here, and I tell you every week I love doing this when we get to promote kids in our area who are going on to do big and better things on the collegiate level. So happy to have here today with me Casen Guidry. Casen is taking his wrestling talents out to Alabama, to Huntingdon College, and we're so proud of him for doing that. Also have Cody Knobloch, guy I consider the godfather of wrestling in the other area, actually got everything sort of started in this area. First and foremost, congratulations. That's a terrific honor. And when you folks hear the story of Casen and what it took for him to get to this point, it's really special. Got to be feeling good about what's going on right now, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm super, super excited.
Talk a little bit about Huntingdon. Why Huntingdon? What was your decision-making process related to going there? And you know, Alabama, it's a little trek to Montgomery, but, you know, mom and dad can make that trip. Talk about what you liked about the school.
All right, well, first off was I got the opportunity to actually watch one of their workouts, and this is probably what sold me for it, was I got to watch the whole team. They're all working together. It was a bunch of guys that wanted to be there, and they were all pushing each other. Like, nobody there was slacking, and just watching that and feeling the energy, I just want to be a part of that.
Very
good. I just feel like being there, I'm going to get better, like, as a person and as a wrestler. And I just want to continue it. It's something I love, and it's something I want to do.
Cody, you've been doing this. You know, I mentioned Godfather. You're the guy who a few years ago decided, let's get this going. Let's do this in the area. And obviously, you see what it takes to be a competitor,
yes,
to
sir.
be good at this. What makes him good at it?
Casen's a special kid. Like, from the day Casen came into our wrestling room, he's always been the hardest working kid there, right? And every coach says the same thing about that one kid in that room that works the hardest. But what makes Casen special is he makes every kid in the room work that much harder too. Casen's the hardest working kid in a room full of hardest working kids. It's just that special aura he has about him. We're going to really miss having Casen with us.
Talk about, you know, I mentioned there was some adversity along the way. We're going to backtrack a little bit to his freshman year, and you guys are practicing. When you remember back to the day, he actually, and I'm going to go ahead and say, he broke his femur, right? What was the feeling then? Did you lose any sort of love for the sport, even though it sort of maybe set you back a little bit at the very beginning?
Well, I knew I wanted to do this sport since 8th grade. And here's the thing, I was riding a high horse because the week before, I just had my first tournament. I went 5-0, so I was walking on sunshine. I was having a great time. And then that Tuesday, you know, broke my femur. That really, really sucked. And I mean, there was like a dark time for a hot minute. But eventually I just came to the conclusion, like, hey, this is a sport I like. This is something I enjoy. And if I want to be good at it, I'm just going to have to work twice as hard now. And this is what I set my mind to doing.
Cody, I know you enjoy seeing individual success, but it's also a team sport where you build up team points and things like that. You get into his senior year, and in his senior year, he has an ACL injury.
Yes.
What kind of kid was he related to being there for the team along the way and doing those things to make your team better, even though he maybe couldn't get on a mat?
He couldn't. Casen kind of took on a role as an unofficial assistant coach after his ACL went out. He's just one of those kids that he likes to be around the sport so much. I don't think I could have kept him out of the room if I tried to. It was more of a challenge of keeping him off the mats with his injury than it was him actually being there. Casen took to it very well. I think a lot of kids in the situation would have probably folded the tent. Who could have blamed them? They lost 2 years of competition, but not Casen. He just finds a way to be useful.
Very good, very good. Jason, we do have some of those shots of the signing which took place last week at Terrebonne High School. There you're on the left. I would assume that's most of your coaches, not only your wrestling coaches. I see Amy Williams in there, Scott Gotro. Talk a little bit about those two pictures, because I know those guys on the right are special to you also, right?
Yeah, well, on that photo on the left, all the way to the left, that's Miss Amy. That's the swim coach. She was a super, super huge help in this whole endeavor. Like, she would, like, before every swim practice, she's like, hey, I'll give you like 10 minutes to like recover from wrestling practice before you get into swim practice. Like, she understood what the goal was, and she helped a lot. The guy in the red shirt standing next to Knobloch, that's Coach Todd. He was the cross country coach, and he also understood the goal. Like while I'd be running, he was like, "Come on, wrestling season's coming up. We gotta push ourselves. We gotta get that cardio." The guy on my left, that's Coach Dog. That's probably the best hype man you're ever gonna get. All right, that's.
You need one of those guys.
Oh
too,
yeah.
right?
And look, a special shout out to Coach Dog. He puts a lot of work into our recruitment program. Coach Dog does our recruitment packets for all of our seniors. He then takes that recruitment package and our film and sends that off to every D2 and below college coach that they have in the nation. That's how we were able to get our kids a lot of exposure from this area and actually get them recruited. So he does a phenomenal job at that.
The fact is there's not a whole lot of wrestling in the collegiate programs in Louisiana. Not a whole lot. There's none, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's a tough. I don't even know if Mississippi is like.
Mississippi does. Mississippi actually just sanctioned a few years ago high school wrestling. So
Is that right?
Yep. Closest is Texas and Alabama.
Listen, we only have about a minute left, but there are obviously people to thank, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about those people a little bit.
Well, like I said before, we got Miss Amy, we got Coach Todd. Most importantly, we got my parents. I mean, my mom, she's my biggest supporter in the stands at all times. She would, I don't know how she's gonna feel about this, but she always had like this cowbell for cross country, and that'd be something to hype you up during the runs. And she'd always bring her pom poms every tournament. They also got my dad. He'd support me through this whole endeavor, like through the cuts and everything. But I'd like to thank my family.
Very good. Very good. Listen, congratulations. It's a terrific honor. Coach Knobloch, anytime you have a kid that signs, make sure you get in touch with me.
Yes, sir.
We want to make sure we promote it. And Casen, best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Hope everything goes well over in Alabama. We'll be back right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.